Alrighty, so I managed to actually get the video working fine. I had to reinstall. There was that weird stuff at the very end of the last semester where it asked me to update OneDrive, caused slight problems. So I just kind of deleted OBS and just reinstalled it. It's fine now, working, got all set up. So remember, just as a quick intro for my new students, remember you just go to blender.org in whatever browser you want, right? Blender.org, and you go to download Blender 2.91. And of course, if you can install, right? So you have your own laptop, and you can install whatever you want on that. Just do this one, right? If you have a school device and it does not, because usually they don't give you install privileges, you can go here, right? And you can actually download the Windows Portable Zip, right? Of course, there's Steam, there's Linux, there's Mac OS, so that's kind of cool just to let you guys know you can get Blender on a bunch of different operating systems. But Windows Portable Zip, right? You can click on that, it'll download it. What happens once that gets downloaded is that you'll see it is a zip folder, right? So I can just kind of go here and downloads, and you'll see there's actually a zip folder for this. And basically, you can double click on it, right? And it'll ask you if you want to extract, right? And that's where you can kind of go up to here and kind of click right there. And then you just kind of browse, right? Kind of tell extract to, or extract all, and you should be able to kind of pick, right? So if you click on that, you can actually kind of browse to where you want to extract it to, right? I'm not going to extract, but that's basically how you would do that. And once that's done and you've got it extracted somewhere you want it to be extracted, you'll see that there will be a folder there. You double click on that folder and you'll see that there's the Blender executable right there. And this makes it so that you do not have to install Blender, right? That way you can run this on any device, right? Without having to worry about install privileges. If you can install, go for it. Cool, right? That's great. So yeah. So I'm going to go back to Blender because I did launch it. And actually just show you how to launch it again, right? So we just go, open this up, Blender. And this is for my new students. And it should bring this up. Now, if it's your first time, there will be more stuff here. There won't be the new, won't necessarily just be these. There'll be like right around here, like a interaction model or whatever, and it'll like have like a little pull down that says Blender. You can click on that and pick industry compatible. In this case, I'm just going to hit general because that'll load in like a box. Remember, if you need to, you can go to edit preferences. Like for whatever reason, you just click through there and you're like, oh, I forgot to turn on industry compatible. Right? Go to edit preferences, and you can go to input right here. Or not, sorry, not input. Key map, right? And key map has up here at the very top the option for the older Blender settings and industry compatible. Industry compatible sets it up so it uses kind of the industry standard Maya setup, which quite honestly, in my opinion, is superior to the old Blender methods. We could talk about the better ergonomics, the better muscle memory of those things, but I use industry compatible, right? So you turn that on. All right. And then when that does, remember that sets up Alt left for camera rotate, Alt middle for camera move. And remember, the middle mouse button is just your scroll wheel. You just press it down like a button. And Alt right for zoom, right? Then we'll set up W for move, right? E for rotate, R for scale, and they're all right here. And even Q for selection, right? It even does more than that. It uses things like Control E for extrusion and Control B for bevel. Double left click to select edge loops, right? So it actually takes a lot of default Maya shortcuts that are awesome, and it applies them to Blender. It also, though, comes with some of its own cool ones that are unique. So industry compatible is now not just a couple of my interaction things, although it is that. It's actually a lot of its kind of own well-thought-through quickies and shortcuts, which are really, really cool. So yeah. Of course, I also usually click modeling, right? Click modeling, because that way it kind of takes us to the more modeling-focused one. There's one for UV editing, and there's one for sculpting, and we'll see that stuff more as we go along. And some of you guys already have, of course. Most of you guys already have. But we're going to go to modeling. And you'll see right up here you have like some view options, some of your selection tool options here, add for adding primitives, mesh, you can do some modifications to meshes there. That's where that duplicates at. But you even have your specific vertex, edge, and face modeling tools, like extrude and inset, solidify for thicken, right? Edge gives you your ability to, bridge and spin edge, right? That's your rotate features right here for spinning edges, right? sliding edge loops, right? So you got a lot of neat tools there, which is cool, right? But I always like to give that, and you get some of the major tools right here, right? So overall, the Blender 2.8 series, right now in 2.9, so they've actually had several versions, but 2.8 did a massive rebuild of the interface, the interaction, particularly for industry compatible, that made Blender honestly amazing. I've always had some level of respect for Blender in terms of it being a software that you could use for free that could make good stuff, but I absolutely hated many aspects of the interface and workflow and think they were just not terribly user-friendly and intuitive. And that was a big part of Blender 2.8 was that rebuild for that stuff. So that's kind of cool. Just want to make sure you guys just get that. You have your outliner here, right? So you can kind of turn your camera stuff off right here. If you go to 4, right, because 4 is object mode, you see kind of right over here there's this little pull down that gives you kind of your different modes. Object mode. Edit mode is really kind of for your editing of the specific model. And you see there's vertex, edge, and face right there. And that's 1, 2, 3, right? But I'm going to go to phase 4 for object mode, because that's when, if you go to add, you'll get that image reference option. Now, if I just did it from perspective here, right, it puts it in, and I'll just kind of find something from the desktop. Doesn't matter. I'm just kind of demonstrating, all right? It actually aligns it to the camera. Now, it is its own object in the outliner, right? And you could rotate it however you want to, right? If you drag right in there, it kind of rotates it free trackball. This one is your view rotate, although middle mouse button always does that, right? And then, of course, you have your specific controls. You can create as many of these as you want, and they are objects, so you can delete them. And remember, this right here will allow you to kind of switch to your orthographic views, right? So I can always go there, add image, reference, and kind of find that guy again. And there we go. R, of course, is for scale. Now, remember, middle mouse button, when you're using industry compatible, is always your view rotate, your view move, and in case of the scale tool, it's your uniform scale. It kind of does what the outer white one does, right? Which for move is view move, for rotate is view rotate. And here, it's really just uniform scale. It scales all 3 dimensions at the same time. So if you just hit middle mouse button, it just makes it bigger. Obviously, you can specifically use certain handles. If you just Alt-left to rotate your camera, you can do that. W for move, right? You can move that back. You can always grab these handles to move it along the X, Y, and Z, your 3-dimensional axes. And I feel like that'll be a good place to stop for this video, right? We're not going to quite get to the car building fully yet, like we did with the little demonstration. I'll have a more full video for that for you guys tomorrow. But I figured this would be a good test video for me to get and get up for you guys, because I had to make sure to reinstall OBS. So yeah, so I'll kind of stop the recording there.